Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be testing out the brand new foundation from Chanel, and this one was only released a couple of days ago and I decided to pick it up the same day that it was released, and this is the number 1 de Chanel Red Camellia Revitalizing Foundation, and this was the most expensive foundation I've purchased. This was £55. So the reason why it is more expensive is because this is supposed to be very eco-friendly, a lot of natural products that they have in them, and I'm really excited to test this out and see how it goes. Now this is the shade BD31, this is the shade that I am in all Chanel foundations and they match me perfectly, so we're also going to see if the shade is the same as the other ones that they have. You also get 30ml or 1 fluid ounce in the foundation as well, and I haven't actually opened this up before, so this is going to be a complete first impression on all the packaging as well. Now you also don't get any leaflets in here as well because they do have a QR code on the side right here, so this is what you use to see how you apply it and all details about the foundation as well. And the foundation bottle, it actually looks really small. I thought it'd look bigger than this, but this one, it is, like I said, 30ml, so the usual foundation size, and on the top you have the little CCs on there, so you can tell that it is very different to the other ones. It is also very lightweight as well, so it is glass but it is very lightweight. It hardly feels like there's any weight to it compared to the other Chanel foundations that they have. So if you do like these types of videos, please consider subscribing just down below, and also make sure to hit the bell icon just so you're notified every time I upload a new video. So the number 1 de Chanel collection, this is brand new, it's not limited edition. They do have skincare, they have makeup, and they also have a fragrance as well. With the fragrance, it is supposed to smell like all of the other skincare that they have, so all the camellia ones that you've seen, it's meant to smell exactly the same as that. I haven't smelled it myself, I haven't tried out any of the other products in the collection. I was gonna get the serum, but I saw the price. It was very expensive, and for someone who has very sensitive skin, I have to only use specific products that don't break me out. The number 1 de Chanel line took them years to create. Packaging is designed to minimise its environmental impact, no cellophane, lightweight glass, recyclable materials. It also has organic ink as well, so everything that you see on the boxes and the packaging is all organic ink, and there's no paper leaflets, and if you want the more information you just scan the QR code that's on the packaging. And on the website it says the camellia is showcased in all its forms at the heart of number 1 de Chanel. The new anti-aging beauty line, the red camellia oil, delivers comfort to the skin and maintains its protective barrier function. It's a beauty line that seeks to minimise its environmental impact with formulas that contain up to 97% naturally derived ingredients and 76% camellia derived ingredients. They've also been tested on all skin types, even sensitive skin, and the foundation is enriched with red camellia oil and moisturising ingredients that revitalise and protects the skin from environmental aggressors and creates an even complexion, and after 1 month skin looks smoother by 8% as well. Texture blends seamlessly with the skin, offering a luminous finish and buildable coverage. Skin has a youthful glow. So hopefully with this youthful glow that it says it has, it's not going to make me look oily during the day, and hopefully it's going to make my skin look really nice. It doesn't say the coverage that you get. I'm assuming it's going to be like a light medium coverage that you can build up. I'm not expecting this to be a full coverage foundation, just because I have seen what it looks like on some people on the website, and I haven't seen any reviews on this because I don't want my mind to be persuaded. I literally want this to be a complete first impression. And with the packaging, like I said, it just feels really nice and lightweight. The top is also, I think it's plastic, but it is very light, and you also get a pump in there as well, so it is very different to anything else that they have in their line, and it actually feels a little bit cheaper than the other packaging, but I think that's just because of how lightweight it is. And I'm going to go ahead and test this out on my skin, so we're going to go ahead and zoom in and see how it goes. So I've zoomed in and I'm going to apply my primer before I put my foundation on. So the 2 favourite primers that I have at the moment are both from e.l.f. and they're the Putty primers. So I have the matte one, which I'm going to put on all the areas where I have very oily skin and my oils peek through, and I put the blemish fighting one on all the areas where I have my blemishes. As you can see, I have a lot on the sides of my face, on my cheeks, and also on my chin at the moment because I am breaking out quite a lot. So these are the 2 primers that I use, and they work amazingly with all of my foundations. Now the primer has settled all into the skin, so I'm going to apply the foundation now. So this does say on the website the best way to apply it is using your fingertips or using a brush, and I don't use my fingertips or a brush for any foundations. I always use a beauty sponge. So this one is from Wet n Wild, and this is one that I use all the time. I have washed it, I have used some soap on it, I have sanitized it, but it just looks this colour. It's just not very nice. So we're going to see how this applies. I'm not too sure how many pumps to do, but I always do 1 pump first and do one side of the face, and then we compare both sides just to see what they look like. So that is what the foundation looks like. So it is pretty thick. I thought it'd be runnier than this because it is a buildable one, and I thought that it'd have really sheer coverage. It also has a nice little scent to it. It's not overpowering, it's just a very, very slight scent, which I think is very nice actually. I don't usually like to have foundations with scents in them or fragrances because they do tend to be quite off-putting. I'm just going to apply this to this side of my face first and we'll see what it looks like compared to the other side. So that is one layer of the foundation on this side and it looks very, very natural. I feel like it is a light coverage. I can still see my redness peeking through. I can still see all my blemishes as well, but it just has a little bit of coverage on there. Now I did use an entire pump. As you can see, there's nothing left on my hand, but I don't know if that's because I am using a sponge, so it may soak up a lot more product. But I do feel like it looks very nice and natural, but I can see all my pores, all my redness, all my blemishes as well. So you can see that it's a little bit more evened out on this side compared to the side without anything on. But I'm going to try another pump on this side and see how it builds up with the sponge. And I've just done another layer on this side and I didn't even use all of it. I think I used about half a pump. I still have some product left on there and it looks very, very nice on the skin. This is more medium coverage, so I can still see the redness from my blemishes peeking through, but it looks very nice and natural on the skin. It is very luminous, so I am very worried about that because, like I said, my skin is very oily. Anything that says that it's luminous or hydrating, usually I stay away from. And I feel like this would be a very nice foundation if you don't have a lot of acne on your skin like I do. If I didn't have a lot of acne, I would just go with one pump and it would just look really beautiful and I'd go throughout my day. I really like the way that it looks. The colour is on point for my neck. Like I said in previous videos, I don't self-tan my face because my skin is so sensitive, but I do self-tan my body, so I always get a foundation to match my neck and the rest of my body, so that's why it looks a lot darker compared to the side without foundation on. So this is what it looks like without foundation, so a lot of redness, a lot of blemishes, and on this side is just evened out the skin tone. You can, like I said, still see some blemishes, but I'm not too worried about that because I don't mind people seeing my blemishes. I don't really go to cover them up. I'm going to go ahead and try a brush on the other side and we'll see if it builds up, if the coverage is any better, if I need to use less foundation. So with first impressions, you tend to use a lot more foundation than you usually would, just because you want to see how it builds up, how it looks on the skin and everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get a brush and we're going to test this out and see how it goes on this side. So I've grabbed my brush and this is a Real Techniques 200. I think it's the Expert Face brush. So I'm going to put one pump on my hand and then we'll see what the coverage looks like with a brush, because you never know, I might actually prefer a brush for the first time in my life to using a sponge. I used a full pump on this side and I don't really feel like there's much difference to when I did one layer with the brush and one layer with the sponge. I feel like it looks pretty much exactly the same, but I'm going to see if it builds up. I'm still one of those people that do prefer sponges at the moment to brushes, but you never know, I might be converted when we do the second layer. So after using the brush, I feel like that you actually need to use more product using the brush than if you were to use the sponge. I feel like you get pretty much the same coverage, but I just feel like with the brush it just doesn't look as nice as with the sponge. So I think we're going to go ahead and get hold of my sponge and just sort of press this in a little bit more, because it is looking a little bit streaky. I don't know if you can see, but it looks quite patchy on this side and this side looks better, but I still feel like it looks a little bit patchy on the skin. Now that I've gone in with the sponge and just sort of gone over the top of it, I didn't use any more product, I just wanted to blend in a little bit more. I feel like it looks very, very beautiful on the skin, and you do get a medium coverage, but I'm happy with this. I don't mind the fact that my blemish is still peeking through. It looks really beautiful. It looks quite thick, but I don't know if that's just because I was using a lot more product than I usually would on a normal day. This is just a first impression to try it out and see how it looks on each side. So I'm going to go off camera, do the rest of my makeup, and then come back and show you what it looks like. So I've finished off my makeup and this is what it looks like, and I feel like it looks really, really nice. I have added some deeper lips to what I usually do. Usually I go for a pinky nude shade, but today I decided to do a little bit different with my makeup and I really do like it. Now I have noticed that after putting on all of my products, they did go on very, very easily. The only thing is that it is starting to look a little bit blotchy on certain areas. So on my chin it is looking a little bit blotchy, then also upper lip it's looking a little bit blotchy as well. Now I don't know if that's just because I added a lot more foundation foundation to what I usually would on a day-to-day basis, because I was testing this out today, so I don't know if it's just that I've had too much product on there, but I feel like it built up very easily and it looked really nice on the skin. The colour is perfect for me as well. It's exactly the same as all the other BD31 foundations as well, so I am happy with that. And it doesn't look too luminous. Now it does look a little bit luminous, but it doesn't look to the point where it looks shiny or anything like that. I do have a strong highlighter on today, so that is where most of the luminous is coming from. So it took me about half an hour to do the rest of my makeup, and it's now 5 to 1 in the afternoon, so I did apply this and start doing my makeup about 20 past 12. So I'm going to come back in a few hours, give you a little update, let you know how it's been going throughout the day. Then I'll come back at the end of the day, give you my final review and let you know how it's done. It's now 4:30 in the afternoon, and I did want to give you an update a little bit earlier, but the sun has pretty much set and there is no sunlight really left, so I decided I was going to do the update right here so I can show you. I am in my bedroom at the moment. I'm trying to get as much light as possible, so I'm right by the window, and if I'm not in focus I do apologise, but this is how my skin is looking after 4 hours, and it looks still really, really beautiful. The thing is, when I said to Neil, I said, how does my skin look? Does it look cakey? Like, how does it look? And he said that it doesn't actually look any different to some of the other foundations I've tried. It was like, I'm not the best person to ask about this, but I noticed exactly the same thing, that it looks very similar to other ones that I have. I have ones that are about the £30 mark, where it looks very, very similar to what it's looking like on my skin at the moment. So that is something I do have to say. I don't know if it is definitely worth the £55 at the moment, but so far my skin is still looking beautiful. As you can see, the highlighter is still popping. It hasn't really moved on the skin, but it is starting to cake up a little bit around the sides of my nose, and also my chin is coming off a little bit on the bottom, but it doesn't look that bad. I think it's just because I am a very oily person, so a lot of the time my oils do peek through. It is looking nice and glowy, but it's not looking to the point where it looks like I am an oil slick or anything like that. My oils are still not coming through, and it's been 4 hours, so I feel like that's done pretty good. I will also try and do some close-ups in other lighting just so you can see what it looks like. So I'll try and go in the landing, see if the lighting's any better there. It is still very pretty. I have noticed though that it has sunk into the wrinkles on my forehead, so not really best pleased with that. I feel like it still looks pretty nice, but we're going to go ahead and see how it goes until the rest of the day. Now I'm going to go out and go to the driving range, so I'm probably going to be wearing a hat because it's very, very cold outside. So I'll come back at the end of the day, do a check-in and let you know how it goes. So it's the end of the day and almost 10:30 in the evening. So I've had this foundation on now for 10 hours and I'm now going to give you a final review just to let you know how it's gone throughout the entire day, because now I'm very tired and it's been on for longer than I thought I would keep it on for. So I have just been out. I've gone to the driving range with Neil, so I have been wearing a face mask when I'm going out and about. I also wear glasses, so on all of my first impressions I tend to get where the glass mark comes off, and then also a little bit on my chin and on my nose. So we'll see what it looks like after 10 hours. So it's not looking that bad. I thought it would be so much worse than this, because when I saw that it was a luminous finish and it was a hydrating foundation, I thought this is going to be a product that is going to be coming off like crazy on all my oils. I haven't powdered, I haven't blotted, and it doesn't look that bad. Now you can see that it has come off of my forehead and also around the sides of my nose as well, but again I've been wearing a face mask. Then on my chin it's come off as well, pretty much have no product left on my chin. But the rest of my makeup is still on and it still looks nice. I mean, I am starting to look a little bit shiny on my forehead, a little bit oily, but it's not that bad. So I am pleasantly surprised, because I thought it'd come off after about 4 hours, with it not saying it was a matte finish and saying it was suitable for all skin types. I thought, you know what, this is going to be something that isn't going to work out for me, but I like it. Now it's not my favourite Chanel foundation that I've tried out, it's not my favourite foundation overall that I've tried out, but it is still really nice. Now it is looking a little bit cakey around my nose, and it did when I was doing the 4 hour mark, and then also my chin was looking a bit cakey, and then also on my upper lip it was starting to look a little bit separated as well when I first applied it. But I think that might be because I applied a lot of the foundation on. I applied 4 pumps. No one needs to apply that much on your face, and I just think that because it was a first impression and I like to see how things built up, I do feel like that with me using it on a normal day I'll be using less pumps, and I feel like it will look a lot better. So I am going to be testing it out tomorrow as well, because I am very intrigued to see how it goes with using less products and using different products on my skin as well. But the rest of my products glided on so easily, they looked very beautiful. Foundation just built up very nicely on the skin. So you can get, like I said, a light coverage if you do one layer, and then it builds up to like medium coverage if you do a second layer. Didn't cover up all of my blemishes, didn't cover up all my redness, but I'm not really too worried about that because I didn't think it would even get to medium coverage. I just thought it'd be something that was very sheer, because when I was looking on the website and I saw the models and they were testing it out, it looked like it was pretty much nothing on the skin. It looked like it was going to be sheer, like the Beiges Water Fresh tint. I thought it'd be pretty much exactly the same as that, but I really like it. I like the coverage. When I don't have a massive breakout like I do at the moment, I would be happy to just have the light coverage on there. I always go to light coverage foundations. I think they're the most beautiful on my skin, but when I do have a lot of breakouts, I do tend to go for a medium coverage. And like I said, I don't mind the fact that it didn't cover up all of my redness or my blemishes, because I like things to look natural on the skin. Now when I first put it on, it did look pretty natural on the skin. It wasn't the most natural looking foundation I've tried out. The Chanel Le Beige foundation looks a little bit more natural on the skin, but I think again it's one of those because I did apply quite a lot of the foundation to test out and test how much it builds up and things like that. I do definitely prefer using a sponge to a brush. I felt like that the brush gave pretty much the same coverage, but I just felt like it looked a little bit patchy with that. It worked really well with my primer. I can't really see it sliding off on my face. Like I said, it's come off on a couple of different areas, and I can see that I'm starting to look oily at the moment, especially around my nose and also my forehead. Those are the places that I get super oily during the day anyway, so I wouldn't be shocked that every foundation makes me oily after about 10 hours. But if you do want to wear this for a work day, I feel like this will probably last at least 8 hours on the skin, even if you do have oily skin like I do. Also, I didn't feel any irritation on my skin as well. I have very, very sensitive skin. This does say that it was tested on sensitive skin types as well, and it really has worked out for me. It literally feels like I'm not wearing anything on my face. I don't know if I would pay the £55 for it again, because I feel like that is very expensive for a foundation. I feel like that I get the same look with some of my foundations at around £30. I do really like the fact that this has skincare in there. It has a lot of natural ingredients, and all the packaging is environmentally friendly as well. I do like the packaging. I think it looks really nice. It looks very different compared to the other ones that they have. So this is it compared to the Chanel Le Beige foundation. So you can see that there is quite a bit of difference. This is very thick glass on here, and it has a very thick plastic cap, and then this is very lightweight and it has a plastic cap on there. But you can see that there is a difference. I don't know if you can see how thin this is, but this one is so much thinner than this one. And even though there's the same amount of product that's in there, and I've actually used half of this anyway, even though there's the same amount of product, this feels way lighter than this one does. But I do prefer the look of the original ones, but I do think that this is very nice and sleek. Overall, I do like the foundation. Like I said, it's not my favourite one, but I am going to be testing out a little bit more just to see all the skincare benefits it has in there. It does say that it's meant to improve your skin and the look of your skin as well, so I will put it to a test and see if it actually does do that. So I do recommend picking it up if you are intrigued with this, and if you do want to try it out, if you want to see how it goes, because I do feel like that will suit a lot of different skin types. I have very oily skin, and it hasn't done really anything to my skin that is out the ordinary to other foundations, and it's controlled my oils pretty well as well. And I do like the fact that it's for sensitive skin types as well. I haven't noticed any difference with my skin today. Like I said, it hasn't irritated me, just felt like that there's nothing on the skin, so hopefully it's going to do well with me using it for the next couple of weeks. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you've tried out this foundation, and if you like it, if you don't, just comment down below to let me know. Also, if there's any other products you want me to test out, just let me know as well. And make sure that you give this video a very big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye.